Here to talk about the process is former APA President Wayne Vincent. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
And thank you for joining us.
Sure.
All right, let's talk about what this means for the police officer who's patrolling this morning, hearing it on the news, reading it online, saying, here is my boss, the police chief, in a argument or in a fight with his boss, the city manager. What does this do for the police officer on the street?
Police officers have enough to worry about, but now if they're in a high-profile situation with the back and forth between the chief and the city manager, their major concern is, am I going to be judged through the prism of policy and law, or am I going to be used as some kind of pawn in a political chess match? It's concerning, and it's kind of unprecedented that you have this real public back and forth between the chief and the city manager. So I'm sure it's got to concern some of the working police officers out there.
What is the relationship for our viewers between a city manager and the police chief?
Well, the city manager is the direct boss of the police chief, and they have to have a very good working relationship in order for things to run smoothly. So I'm hoping that this can go away quickly and it can get back to normal.
What happens if it doesn't?
Well, at some point, the city manager and the chief have to be on the same page to promote stability and those kind of things. So I'm sure they're either going to work it out or there's going to be a change.
Okay. The city manager, does the city manager, Marcotte, have the power to, we know he has the power to hire, can he have the power to fire Acevedo? It's
my understanding that any of the directors within department agencies are the direct report to the city manager, and that they work at the pleasure of the city manager and city council.
Okay. The chief has been getting a lot of support too, I think, from people on social media. We've talked about the critics and some of the statements that Chief Ott has said about the chief and his poor judgment, but I think it's fair to let people know about the support the chief is getting out there, including one from Dr. Sam Strauss reading Marcotte should not undermine Chief Acevedo by airing private disagreements in public. And Wayne, I want to bring you back into the conversation about that, about how maybe something that should be private is now playing out in public, and how police officers how it may affect the morale at the department.
That's the unprecedented part. There's always going to be some disagreement between the city manager and the chief, but to have it play out in public by both sides is not good for anybody. So I think that's why this is so newsworthy. These disagreements are usually behind closed doors, and both parties walk out unified. Right now, that seems to have been broken.
We've been in Austin for a long time. You as a police officer, the president of the APA, me as a former crime reporter, I have never seen this happen before.
Well, I haven't either. I was with the police department for 30 years. I also am familiar with a lot of different departments around the state.
Yes.
This is the first time I've seen it, and that's why there is no precedent for this. I can't recall another situation in which this happened.
Okay. Thank you so much, Wayne, for your perspective. Sure. I really appreciate talking to you.